I'm Uncle Mark. I'm going to show you how I got this door panel off on a 2011 Ford Flex. This goes up to the 19, I believe. Should work on yours. Fairly simple. Couple tools you need. Also going to show you how some of the switches come out in case you're trying to just take a switch out. So these are where all the fasteners are, where the yellow dots are. I'll show you a close-up in a minute, just so you have kind of an idea what's hanging on and where. And we don't want to forget about the lock, little finger there. So there's one behind that reflector. Of course, we've got the lock finger. There's something behind there. There's one here where this grab is, right in there. There's a clip behind there. We've got Phillips head screw on there, down here as well, and then a couple below. One there, one there. I'll show you how they come out. And one there. That one looks kind of funny. So I'll set you up and I'll show you how these come out. Now this is kind of a tricky thing. Looks like somebody might have broken this before. And it's clipped in. I'm not really sure if it's from the top or the bottom, but I'll show you what it looks like from the back side once I get it out here. So I kind of fiddled with it a little bit. I was trying not to break it. It might actually work if a guy can get it from underneath and pull it out. But yeah, lots of fun. Usually they come out a little easier than that, but I guess you don't want them falling out. So this one finally, somehow I unhooked it, and it came out. There's a screw behind here, so you see the fingers, there's 3 of them. That's all that's holding it in there. And it looks like the bottom, something's broken there, but I didn't do that. So let's take a look at this bolt here. It's 10 millimeters. So if you can use a ratchet, get it out. It's a fairly long bolt. So I won't show you the whole process. Okay, it's there, so it's out. Easy enough, you can understand that. That's the first one. Then behind this cover too, there's another one of those. Of course, this is where you're always pulling to close your door. Try not to drop your cover there. Again, it's got a few little fingers. A couple on the bottom, they're a little bigger, and a couple ones on the top, they're just little. That's what it looks like. Now we'll try and get this one's a little further in there, so you may need, I'm going to use a crazy long extension just because that was the closest one I had. 10 millimeters again. You don't have to have such a long extension. Like I say, that was the closest one I had. Maybe it makes it more dramatic for the filming. Now it is out, same as that one was on the top. Now behind here, there's a little reflector. It's got 2 clips on the top and the bottom. They're part of the reflector, small flat screwdriver, and I see somebody's broken the bottom of this one already. So I'm going to probably have to put some kind of goo behind here to refasten it on later. I'll show you what these little fingers look like though. I don't know why it would have broke, but maybe it was cold when they took them out. There's a Phillips there, so you see the one is not broken. So somebody must have been in a hurry or something, but the other side is. So I don't want it to fall out, so I'm going to probably put, I don't know, a little dab of something, caulking or something in there. It's a Phillips screw. Simple enough. You know, most people have Phillips screwdrivers. Take that out. Don't lose it. That's one of many. It's kind of nice, actually, the way they have this put together. There's one here, when you first look at it, you're thinking, what is that? But it's a Phillips screw with kind of like a rubber washer around it, I guess. I don't know exactly the purpose of it, other than it hangs on, so you'll know where that's the only one that looks like that. Take that out. It's actually going into a plastic slot, so you don't want to over tighten it when we put them back in. Now we'll keep going down. Of course, another Phillips. Simple enough to get out and simple enough to lose. I'm going to put them in a little cup or something so I don't lose them. Move a little closer to the front of the door. Another one as well. And we move on. Go up a little bit. There's 2 of them there. Take those 2 out. We've just about got all the fasteners out. That one, get this one out closer to the speaker. They're really easy to see. And I think that is it. There's a clip behind here, and I think the easiest way is just gonna want to pull the door off. And don't want to forget about the finger for the lock there. I'm just gonna pull up a little bit and wiggle it a little bit, and as I was pulling up, that one came out as well. That easy. There's some wires and stuff like that hanging on. So on the door panel on the right, we see this little clip. I think it's metal and plastic. It goes into a round hole here. I'll show you when we put it back together after. Now you'll have all your window switch wires and all that kind of stuff. There's also the door handle, the cable for that to release the door, let it open. This is what it looks like. There's a switch there as well for your mirrors. So we'll try and show you how they all come apart. It's fairly easy. Usually they have a tab you have to push that releases it a little bit. So what should we do first? Maybe I can set you up here, and you can watch me get the door handle apart. So there's a cable in there. So how does that come out? Well, it's a little bit finicky maybe. I'm going to try and grab the wire a little bit. So I'm going to open it up. I might grab the handle. So I've got a little bit of wire there. And I grab it with a pair of pliers if that works out. If you really wanted to, you could probably grab it with your finger. And you just want to pull it and twist it around towards kind of the front of the vehicle. Here, I think my finger will work. And you see, there, it's let go. Simple enough, huh? It was just a little pellet captured in there. Well, this plastic piece has a couple fingers on the inside. You can just about see one. So I'm going to try and squeeze them with a couple of pliers, or a pair of pliers. But actually, I think you could do it if you had the right size little wrench. And use the open end. And just slip it over them, and it would come out. Basically, if you can squeeze the fingers in, because that's what's locking it in. I'm trying to do the bottom and then the top, and it should just come out. There you go. Show you a quick little close-up here. You see what it looks like, huh? Easy enough. And we continue on. Let's get some of these wires off. There's one, is that for the power lock, maybe? I think so. Here, I'll show you what it is. Get you around on this side. Yes. The locks. So there's a locking clip you just press down on, a release tab, and then wiggle the whole thing as you're holding the release tab down. Sometimes it helps if you have a little screwdriver. Just try not to force anything. There, came out. See if I can show you a close-up of how that release tab, works. Yeah, you understand that. I also have the power mirror here. Same kind of thing. There should be a little squeeze tab. See if I can show you a little closer as well. On one of the sides it'll have it where you just press. There it is. Sometimes they're hard to see. Press, give it a little wiggle, and it pops out. They all are different connectors, so you can't mess up when you try and hook them back up. Plus, a lot of the wires aren't long enough to go, over to the next switch. So let's take a look at the bottom of your power window switches. Wow. Little tang there again, a little button you press, and it lets go. That was the last wire to take off. The door panel was kind of hanging by that wire. Hopefully I didn't stress anything. Let's take a look at your power mirror switch, how it fits in there. Just a couple little fingers. They're a metal spring kind of thing. Really hard. Here, I'll hold the camera straight. Really hard to get out. So I finally got a little screwdriver and tried to pry and push at the same time. It's pretty tough to get out. Not impossible though. And it just comes out. Of course, this is already unplugged, right? We unplugged it earlier. You saw that. And I just, one side is a little longer than the other. It's almost like a little submarine. Those little things that hold it down. So you get your new one. A lot of times you spill like some kind of pop or something on them, it'll stop these switches from working. Otherwise, a lot of times wires in the door, where the door flexes, where it goes into the body, one by one those wires will break there and things will stop working. That's usually where is a good place to take a look at. Now let's take a look at the handle here for a minute. How does this come apart? From the back, I see there's a switch here too. If you're wondering how it comes to you, there's a little finger on top here. This is holding the whole unit in. Right there. You just kind of push down on it. Whoa. And the whole handle and everything will want to come out. These handles a lot of times need to be replaced because the chrome maybe broke off or something, and it's starting to bite you, or maybe you broke the handle itself. Well, there you go. It just pops in, pops out pretty easy. Got a couple metal springs there that are holding it in. And it just pops back in the same way. The end that would go towards your cable goes first. And the part that faces the front of the vehicle pops in last. That easy. We did that already. What else we got here that we can show you? Hold this up. Maybe your door switches. Now if you pop it gently at the back here with a little screwdriver or some kind of a proper door panel tool, plastic one, non-marring, that's it, pops out. So it's got this little finger here that goes first when you put it back in. So you want to pop the clip out at the back first and then slide it ahead, and that's basically that. You could take them apart, but usually they're not really fixable, although I did fix one way back. That was another video to talk about. This one's got the power adjustable pedals, and it's got also a switch there for seat memory. So here we'll show you again with it plugged in. Squeeze that little clip and it comes out. You should be able to take those. I don't know if it comes as a set, all the buttons or not. Probably do. The way they're clipped in there though, I found out, I think somebody's had this apart before, although this is an old vehicle already. 8 years old. No, 8, 10, 11. $12 years old. Anyway, you can see how it comes out. Got a couple little fingers there again. So you might get the whole, it probably comes as a complete unit. I don't think you're going to want to be taking it apart. This one, again, I was saying it almost looks like somebody set it apart at one time. Because the bottom of it, the clips there don't seem to want to be holding on very well. Let's see if I can get this switch out. That's one switch. And the bottom seems kind of mangled on it. I don't think it's going to want to hold the switch in there properly. Let's just put it back in. You get one of the clips in behind the door panel first. Hopefully the other ones will just pop in. I think I have it on. Oh, it's right side up. Actually, I think one of the switches is upside down in there. Let's make sure you can read it the right way. Didn't seem to want to pop in properly was my problem here. Like they're not hooking. The little fingers. And you see the bottom here. The plastic's being bent and it's just barely hanging on. Just want it to fall out. I don't know, there's not too much you can do about it, but... That's the problem sometimes when you take stuff apart. Anyway, I fiddled with it for a while and finally got it to hold back in there. Fiddled with it long enough. Done. So let's get the door panel back on. Showing you kind of a top view through the window. Front of the vehicle will be to your left of the screen. Try and get this little wire back in for your door handle. Remember how you got it out? It's actually easier to put it in. Just get that little pellet in the hole. And my picture's worth 1,000 words. I can't explain that any better than that. You saw how it was done. We just have to hook up some of the wires again. And again, they only go in one way. They only fit on one of the switches. So you can't really mess it up. If it's not going in, it's either not the right connector or you've got it backwards. I'm trying to get some of these other ones done too. See if I can do this by feel. Do the power window switches. Here, I'll let you see a little more. If you were doing this without a camera and the lighting, you could stick your head between the door and the door panel and you could see what you're doing. Or use a mirror. There you go, I think. What's it clicking? Yeah, it's in. The next one here, this is what our power door lock switch, I believe. Gotta make sure they click in. The power pedals and the seats, I think, is that next one. What else we got here? Actually, there's two different connectors there. I think one's for the power pedals and then one's for the power seats, memory. And we'll just see if we can get this door panel on. So it's just, this little piece here is going to fit in a little groove right there. See, there actually is a groove. And it's going to sit on top of that. Don't forget your door lock. Pull it up. Make it a little easier to get it on there. A lot easier to align. I'm going to have to use your hand behind there. Of course, if you're doing this by yourself, I can do it by myself. You could do it with some help. Extra person maybe to hold this or hold that. Plus, some of the things were done a little strangely just because I'm trying to record it as well. And lights and stuff like that too in the way. So once you get them kind of aligned there, you got that part there where the mirror is, snap in. You might have to move the door panel like either to the back or to the front, just a little bit, slide in through there. Once it lines up, we can get our bolts and our screws back in. So I think what I'm going to do is do this little one here just behind that reflector, and it's just going into a little plastic piece. Get your reflector, and hopefully yours isn't broken like mine. I'm going to have to get some, I don't know, double-sided tape or something, or a little bit of silicone or something, and stick it back in there. I don't want to lose that. Then we've got that funny looking Phillips with the rubber grommet around it. That goes in, and then you just start working around the door. Do that one, do the next one that's below. Oh, I guess I'm going to do this one first. It's a bolt with a 10mm socket that goes behind the door handle. Just make it pretty snug. And there's that plastic cover that hides the bolt. Only goes in one way. Again, with two hands it'd be a little easier. I'm trying to show you how it goes in there. So just click in. Make sure it clicks in all around because you don't want it falling out. Probably never find another one of those. Then we've got our other 10mm bolt that's going to go in for your door handle for the pull when you're closing it. And if it all lines up, the bolts should go in easy to make it nice and snug. Get that little cover that hides those things. Remember, the big fingers go to the bottom, so they can go in first. And again, it goes together a little easier than what I'm trying to show you just because I'm trying to film it. There you go, that's done. Now there's still a couple more Phillips screws on the bottom of the door panel. Not all door panels are put together this way. Some don't use screws, they use clips, plastic clips that break anytime you take them apart or if it's cold. So this is kind of nice they use these. Might have to wiggle the panel a little bit just to get the hole to center. Then we've got one by the top hinge there, and we've got one below just beside the speaker. So let's do the top one, I think, first. We're so close to being done. And then we've got this bottom one. So hopefully you have everything hooked up properly. And I think that's it. So hopefully this has been of help. So not really too hard to do other than maybe getting some of those connectors off for your switches and things. And maybe, you know, the door pull with that cable there. Not impossible. You saw it. Really suggest maybe if you had a buddy with you to help out between the two of you, should be real easy. I was trying to do it, you know, one-handed and then with the camera and everything else. If you liked the video, why not please give me the thumbs up. It helps YouTube know I did a pretty good job. You can also subscribe down in the corner. You probably have already, but just reminding those that haven't. And since you have one of these vehicles, how about a playlist? Just above the blue circle, the flashing yellow arrow, it'll bring you to a card that'll have a playlist there for this vehicle. We're going to try and get, when I get some time, to put a video up on how to do a rear door panel and the hatch and some other stuff there too. But the playlist is already there, and there's quite a few videos on the Ford Flex. Until next time, I'm saying hopefully you're doing well. I'm going to say bye-bye from Manitoba, Canada. Bye-bye for now. Please subscribe. You'll get all the notifications. It's easy. The little dog will show you how. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Oh, okay.